My best friend's father died in prison for a crime my father supposedly solved. I was standing in the evidence room at the police station where my father had worked for 30 years when I found the photograph that didn't match the case file. My father had died 3 months earlier from a heart attack, and the department asked me to sort through his personal effects stored in boxes labeled with case numbers going back to 1987. I'd been a federal prosecutor for 6 years, so they trusted me to handle sensitive materials properly. I found the photo tucked inside the folder for case number 94-2176, a convenience store robbery that turned into a murder. The victim was a clerk named Dennis Yao, who'd been shot twice during a holdup in February 1994. My father's investigation led to the arrest and conviction of Michael Brennan, who died in Pelican Bay State Prison after serving 19 years of a life sentence. Michael Brennan was my best friend, Lucas's father. Lucas and I were inseparable from kindergarten through 8th grade until his dad was arrested when we were 14. After that, Lucas's family moved away, and I never heard from him again. Looking at the photograph now, I felt my hands start shaking. The image showed the interior of the convenience store taken the night of the murder, but the timestamp in the corner read 11:47 p.m. According to the trial transcript I'd read years ago when I was in law school and curious about my father's most famous case, the murder occurred at 9:15 p.m. I checked the case file again and found the official crime scene photos all timestamped between 9:30 and 10:15 p.m., which made sense for processing a fresh scene. This photograph showing 11:47 p.m. had been taken nearly 3 hours after the other official photos, but it was clearly the same store, same angle, same everything except one crucial detail. In the official photos, a red jacket was visible on the floor near the counter. In this photograph timestamped 11:47 p.m., there was no jacket on the floor. I sat down hard on the evidence room chair because I knew what this meant. Someone had removed that jacket from the crime scene after the initial documentation. That jacket had been the key piece of evidence linking Michael Brennan to the murder because it matched a jacket witnesses saw the shooter wearing when he fled. I pulled out my phone and searched for Lucas Brennan on social media. I found his profile immediately showing he lived in Oakland and worked as a construction supervisor. His profile picture showed a man in his late 30s with tired eyes and a guarded expression. I hadn't seen Lucas in 24 years, not since his father's trial when Lucas sat in the courtroom gallery with his mother and younger sister, all of them crying while my father testified about finding the murder weapon in Michael Brennan's garage. I remembered feeling confused and sad because Mr. Brennan had always been kind to me. He'd coached our little league team and let us build a treehouse in his backyard. He'd seemed genuinely shocked when police arrested him, kept saying there'd been a mistake, that he'd never hurt anyone. My father had told me that criminals always claim innocence and that the evidence didn't lie, except now I was looking at evidence that suggested maybe my father had lied. I photographed the timestamp discrepancy with my phone and kept digging through the boxes. I found my father's personal notebook from 1994, filled with handwritten notes about various cases. The entries for the Yao murder investigation started normally, documenting witness interviews and evidence collection. Then on February 18th, 3 days after the murder, there was an entry that made my blood run cold. It read in my father's neat handwriting, "Jacket placement confirmed. Brennan's prints on weapon sufficient. Timeline problems resolved with Castillo." I didn't understand what jacket placement confirmed meant, unless it meant my father had placed the jacket himself. And who was Castillo? I searched through more files and found references to Detective Anthony Castillo, my father's partner at the time. I remembered him vaguely from childhood, a tall man with a mustache who sometimes came to our house for barbecues. He'd retired in 2003 and moved to Arizona according to department records I accessed through my prosecutor credentials. I took photos of everything suspicious I could find and left the evidence room feeling like the ground had shifted under my feet. But that's when things got out of control. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.